No matter where you are, there's probably a Speedway right around the corner. So whether you want a freshly brewed hot or iced coffee, fountain drink, or speedy freeze, Speedway's got the fuel to keep you going all summer.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Good morning, Hoop Ballers, and welcome to another edition of Hoop Ball's DFS Today. This is your Tuesday, July 6th edition. I am your host, Santino Cacone, and we have a special NBA Finals Game 1 podcast for you today. We have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, guys. The end of the road is almost here, and it couldn't be any better. It could be slightly better if somebody was healthier, but this is going to be an awesome game, and I cannot wait for the series. Two of the better teams this year, the number 2 seed out west, the number 3 seed out east. Going to be a good one. Outside of Giannis, both teams are healthy. It just happens to be Giannis, I guess DiVincenzo as well. But it just happens to be the big name out there that's not healthy. But before we get into this one, I do want to give a quick shout out over to our guys at MyBookie, simply the best sports book around. It's a fully fledged casino platform at the edge of your fingertips. It has every sports bet you can imagine. All the table games, slot games, virtual and live. Absolutely fantastic. And you can get halfway up, your first deposit matched halfway up to $1,000 by simply entering the promo code HOOPBALL, that's HOOPBALL, upon signing up. It's as simple as betting, winning, and getting paid. Again, upon signing up, get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000 by simply entering the promo code HOOPBALL. I also want to give a shout out over to our guys at Manscaped, the number 1 men's below the waist grooming out there. They have a new product, if you're not familiar. It is the Lawnmower 4.0 and the Ultra Smooth package. I myself have the 3.0. It's fantastic, everything that came with that perfect package 3.0, but now we have a new one and it's upgraded. Has everything that you need in the smooth package, including crop exfoliator, crop gel, crop shaver, all that good stuff. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the promo code HoopBall20 at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the promo code HoopBall20. It's dad bod season, guys. Time to get smooth. All right, let's jump into the moment that we've all been waiting for all year long, the NBA Finals Game 1. We have the Milwaukee Bucks traveling to Phoenix to take on the Suns. We have a 219 game total, and the Suns are a big 6.5-point home favorite. On the injury report, and this is why it's that big, Giannis is doubtful, and DiVincenzo is out. Nobody on the Suns. The Suns are healthy as of now. Obviously, things could change throughout the day. This is a first look podcast. But as of right now, that's all we have on the injury report. So let's jump into it. Let's start with the Bucks and who we like on the Bucks. Obviously, no Giannis. Go right to Chris Middleton, right to Drew Holiday. I've made it known Chris Middleton on the road isn't as lethal as he is at home. His efficiency all year long and most of the playoffs has been night and day. But there's no Giannis. So take all of that out of the floor or out from under you, and we're just going to love Chris Middleton now. There's no Giannis. He is the alpha dog. He's going to take over 20 shots at minimum. And he's going to have a lot more ball handling duties, a lot more initiating of the offense. So you can expect 6+ assists, and then all the rebounds he gets, 25+ points. And then what he does on defense, gets a couple steals, a couple blocks here and there, hit some threes. Chris Middleton is worth the 10-4 price tag. And I'm going to go with everybody's utility price tag instead of their captain price tag because we know the difference is big. But Chris Middleton is going to be making lineups because there's no Giannis. Same with Drew Holiday. He has been playing really well lately. Back-to-back games of 25-plus points. Both of those games without Giannis. We should expect similar things. If the Bucks want any chance in this series, they're going to need both of these guys to drop at least 25 points or just play really well. Outside of that, if they can't do that, they're not going to beat this Suns team that is just very good, very deep, very well balanced. Again, they need Drew Holiday, they need Chris Middleton, they need everybody else too, but those two guys have to play like the alpha and omega that they currently have to be at right now at 10-4 and 9-2. I like them both. That we have the Drew Holiday is slightly cheaper than Booker, slightly cheaper than Paul. I think that's a very good price tag to take. Usually Paul and Booker, it's harder to peg which one is going to go off that day. But Drew Holiday, very good price tag. Chris Middleton is the most expensive player on this list. Outside of Giannis, who we already mentioned is doubtful, probably not going to play. I think both of them should make lots of lineups, and I am very well trying to get at least one and most likely both of them in my lineups. Outside of that, Brook Lopez, 7-4. I'm not going to really look there. I do like Bobby Portis yet again. 6'8". His price tag continues to go up and up and up. The first game without Giannis, he was only 4-4. Last game, he was 6'2". Now he's 6'8", so it's getting up there. But again, I think we could still look at him. I think what he did last game, 12-9 at 26 fantasy points. That's pretty much the floor when there's no Giannis. He's going to play 30 minutes plus. He should have more than 8 shots in this one. And they just need him. He's going to start without Giannis. He plays a lot of minutes, and he's been a very good permanent guy. So I would rather have him over Brook Lopez, and I still think Bobby Portis makes some sense here at that price tag. Or price talk, whatever I'm trying to say. Pat Connaughton, decent value there. He dropped 30 fantasy points in the last one with 13 points, 8 rebounds. That's obviously the ceiling, but his floor isn't great, but it's in the mid-teens at 4.8. You can look his way, but now he's more expensive than he had been in a little bit. He was 2.6 in the last game. He was 3.6 before that. In that 3K to 2K or 2K to 3.5K range for a while there. Now he's almost 5. So a little bit more expensive is an option, but I'd rather just go PJ Tucker. I know PJ Tucker's going to play a lot, and he's pretty much he's safer. Not a super high ceiling, but Connaughton doesn't really hit that either. But I'd rather just pay the $400 less and take PJ Tucker there. Outside of that, there's not anyone I'm too interested in. I continue to look at Jordan Nwora just in case, but he hasn't played since Giannis got hurt, which weird to me because you would expect him to play a little bit more, but he has yet. If that changes in this series in particular at 1K, I'll take some shots. I'll be on the news and I'll look out for that. But until then, I can't fully trust him. Bryn Forbes is the only other guy that's under 3K that you could take a shot on. He's not going to play a ton of minutes, maybe 15 or so, mid-teens, low teens, potentially to up to high teens or 20s. But not great upside. He's only a guy that you can throw in there and hope to get a couple points if you're stacking the top of lineups and you just don't have any money there. But the guys I like, Middleton, Holiday, Portis, Tucker, Forbes and Nwora to a small extent if need be, and in case of, break glass scenario, how they say. But that's it there. On the other side of the ball, we have a well-rested Phoenix Suns team. Chris Paul made it known that he's feeling a lot healthier now. The rest was good for him. They last played 6 days ago on the 30th of July, 7 days ago. So had a full week off, and Chris Paul said he feels a lot better now. His hand was hurting him throughout the series. So he dropped 41 actual points in that closeout game 6 in LA, 67 fantasy points. He is 9,800. Devin Booker, on the other hand, is 9,600. And he had back-to-back really good games at the last 2 games in the Clippers series there. 45 fantasy points, 39 fantasy points. Again, I would rather have Drew Holiday at a slight discount. But if I'm going to take a shot, probably take a shot at Paul. We're going to see where Drew Holiday and who Drew Holiday starts off on. But you got to pick your poison, Chris Paul or Devin Booker. I think he's going to start on Devin Booker, and I think Chris Paul is going to have a little better of a shot there to hit value, and I'd rather have Paul than Booker, especially in this game one. But we'll see exactly what the pregame reports say and where Drew Holiday is going to go. Obviously, whoever doesn't have Holiday has a little bit of bonus, but I think both of them can still do really well with Holiday. All right, and we have DeAndre Ayton, 8,400. Had himself a really good series in the last one. He's going to play a lot of minutes here. He should be well rested too. I don't hate him. Probably won't have too much DeAndre Ayton though in this particular series. Brook Lopez might give him a little problems. I want to see how that works out first. I'd rather just pay up and get one of these guards that we've been talking about, Paul or Drew Holiday, even Booker, but I think Booker is the third option for me. Mikal Bridges, 6K. He didn't have a great series, but it's going to be a little different. He's probably going to have a ton of Chris Middleton in this particular series, but I don't mind going there or Jay Crowder. I like Bridges better. Crowder's been the more productive player. The upside of Bridges is pretty good, so I don't mind going there as well. Cam Johnson is another guy. He's probably my favorite of the cheap guys, 2,800. He had a really good series, especially fantasy-wise and regular-wise. He only had one game in the Clipper series where he didn't score in double figures. That's very solid. And that one game that he didn't, he only played 17 minutes, and that was the game that both teams just didn't score. It was 84-80, that series. So I do think as long as he's healthy, I can go with Cam Johnson here. 2,800 is probably my favorite play that's under 3K. I'd much prefer him to a Bryn Forbes that we mentioned before. And right now, that's probably it. Got to see how they do this rotation. I guess if you want to throw in Saric, if you're just hunting for value play at the end of your lineup, you can hope to get 10 to 15 points at 2K, but no one else is guys that you can really rely on out after Cam Johnson. Sarge, again, what I said before, in case of emergency, break glass, case of emergency, I guess you can throw him there, but I personally don't want to go below Cam Johnson if I can avoid it. I think Paul I like a little bit more. I like over Booker in this one. Don't mind Bridges or Crowder. You're probably going to have to get one of them. And Cam Johnson. Those are the guys that I'm really liking here. Cam Payne, not. I think now that he's back to 4-6, we can give him a look. But Chris Paul had a week off. He says he's feeling healthy. I expect him to play as many minutes as he can handle to get possibly the only chance he's going to have at a ring. He's nearing the end of his career, even though he's still looking great, playing for years now. This is his best chance. I think he's going to play 37 minutes a night at least if he can handle it. But that's how I feel about this. I would probably take Bobby Portis over Bridges and Crowder, but that's still a big price difference there. 800 more than Bridges, 1,200 more than Crowder. So we'll see how the money stacks up there. All right, let's jump on over to our player tier since we're all done with this. My favorite spend up of the night is going to be, and I guess I won't cop out and go with the highest guy. I like Drew Holiday. I prefer him a little bit over Booker. I prefer him a little bit over Paul. Without Giannis here, he's getting a lot more ball handling and initiation, just so much more usage here. And if you look at his last 4 games, 9+ assists every game. The 2 games without Giannis, 25+ points. And he's the cheapest of those top 4 guys at only 9,200. So I really like him. And I think makes sense as a captain as well. So you get that slight discount. That's like 600 less than Booker, nearly 1,000 less than Paul in your captain spot, nearly 2,000 less than Middleton. So I think Drew Holiday is the guy that's going to be making a ton of my lineups and the guy that I like to spend up on up there. My favorite mid-tier play of the day, kind of alluded to a couple of guys, but Bobby Portis. I think he's super safe. Of the 3, Portis, Bridges, and Crowder probably are the 3 guys that I'm looking there in the mid-tier. But Portis obviously is the most expensive of the 3. He's also the safest of the 3. And he also has the upside as well. We saw it 2 games ago, the first game without Giannis, he dropped 22 and 8, 43 actual points. His downside was last game pretty much 12 and 9, 8, probably 7 rebounds and mid double-digit points. Low double-digit points is pretty much his downside if he's going to play 30 minutes. So I really like Bobby Portis here. Now I think 6,800 is a solid price tag, even though it's a lot more than it was just a few games ago. My favorite value play of the night, I think we have a couple, depending on what you determine value here, but I'll go with the low end of the value because especially in the finals, people are going to be loading up on the high price guys. So Cam Johnson, if he's going to play mid 20 minutes, low 20 minutes again, we know he can score in double digits. We know he can bring back 16 to 25-ish fantasy points. And at only 2,800, that's going to be awesome. And that's going to be a guy that we're going to want to throw in our lineups, especially if we want Middleton and Paul and Holiday all in our lineups, which in the finals without a Giannis, that's probably where most people are going to lean to. So I think Cam Johnson makes a ton of sense and would be my favorite value play of the night here. And that's it for the game 1 of the NBA Finals. It's going to be an awesome series. I cannot wait to watch. 2 teams that maybe you didn't pick to make the finals this year. I know Milwaukee was one of the favorites out east preseason and all season. They have the Nets, I guess the Sixers as well. Suns were a surprise. They were a projected playoff team pretty much universally, but they just balled out. People are going to say, oh, they played a lot of teams with injuries, whether it was the Lakers, whether it was the Nuggets, whether it was the Clippers. Yeah, that's true. All those guys were missing their best or second best player all series, or pretty much all series. But, I mean, they're here, man. And they are 4 games away from winning a title. So whether you want to – I love when people, oh, it's an asterisk. No. If they win, they win. And good for them. Good for Chris Paul. Good for that entire franchise. They went 8-0 in that bubble last year. They didn't lose a game in the bubble, and now are in the NBA Finals. Awesome for them. James Jones, general manager, first time. Everybody was questioning, oh, he took Cam Johnson. Knew what he was doing. Monty Williams, good for them. And the Bucks. The Bucks were written off. Bud was written off not even a month ago when they were down to the Nets when the Nets didn't have a healthy Harden or Kyrie. But you know what? They're here as well. Giannis could get his first title. You know how many people said, oh, he can't lead a team to a championship? Well, I know he missed the last 2 games that they closed out, but they're here as well, man. So give it up for them and enjoy this finals. Instead of harping on the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, or the negatives, let's enjoy the product as it is and appreciate the talent and the value that these guys, players, coaches, front office, all of them bring to the table. Again, thank you guys for joining for us for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I should be back here again for you for Game 2. That would be on Thursday. And we'll catch you again. Good luck tonight in all your contests. Have fun watching these games. And see you when we see you. As my buddy Will says, also, he's doing the All Rookie podcast now. If you haven't caught on it yet, you're going to want to go check that out. It's awesome. Along with the other new podcast that Hoopball produced in the last couple days and / last month. We have 3 new ones out. Definitely go give them a look. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you again. Peace.
In the Smoky Mountains, it's not just about getting away. It's about getting together to zoom across a zip line, splash down at water parks, shop till you drop, and say hello to the statue of our hometown hero, Dolly Parton. This year, discover the thrill of visiting the Smokies and reconnect with those you love the most in Sevierville, Tennessee. Learn more. Visit Sevierville.com. That's visit SEVIERBILLE.com.
No matter where you are, there's probably a Speedway right around the corner. So whether you want a freshly brewed hot or iced coffee, fountain drink, or speedy freeze, Speedway's got the fuel to keep you going all summer.